The concept is going to be very interesting now. And after practicing the elastic load balancer, you need outside queries with elastic load balancer. కిందకు వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఫైన్ ఫైన్ అనే చేస్తాను. Okay, fine. So in today's class, we are going to see the concept about EBS volume. What we are going to discuss about? So first, fine. So here we are going to discuss about EBS volume. What we are going to discuss about? First of all, what is exactly the meaning of volume means? Sir, when we are creating the server, inside the server, we are going to deploy the application, and inside the application, we need to store the information. Correct or not, sir? Whenever you want to store some information inside the server, we have a thing called volume, which is going to store the data inside the server. Even in Docker, we have seen volumes, right? There, you are going to store the content inside the volume, and the volume we are going to attach for server. Here also, if I want to store the content, then I want to attach it to my server. So now if you see here, EBS volume is also called as root volume. Which volume? Why? Because in this volume only we are running our operating system. Sir, tell me one thing. When creating our server, are we getting the volume or not, sir? As well as when we are creating the server, inside the server, we are going to store the operating system as well. Linux operating system. Linux operating system is having some files and folders which consist of some like files and services, everything. All of them we want to store or not, sir? So our complete operating system is going to store on EBS volume only. That is the reason we can call it as root volume, or even you can call it as boot volume. What is the root volume means? the volume which consists of the operating system, that is what you can call as root volume. In interview, they are going to ask, tell me the difference between root volume versus non-root volume. Root volume means the volume which is having the operating system. Non-root volume means does not have parallelly. Now coming to the block storage types here, sir, basically block storage are categorized into two types. First of all, EBS. Second one is instant storage backward, EC2. So first of all, we are going to talk about EBS only. Why? Because instant storage backward EC2 we are never going to use on real time. So EBS is persistence. Persistence means if you stop or if you reboot, the data will not be deleted. What is the meaning of persistence? Whenever you stop the server, is our data going to be deleted? Why? Because we stopped our servers a lot of times. Have our data got erased? Second one, and even if you reboot the server also, data is not going to be deleted. But when you terminate the server, then only your data is going to be deleted, sir. So that is what you can call as persistence volume. Which volume? And here, this is networkly attached virtual drive. For example, let me open the diagram here. If I draw some paint, so now what exactly it is going to happen, for example, it's my server. Okay. This server is physical server or virtual server? Virtual server. For example, by default, I'm going to attach one EBS volume to my server. This EBS volume is also going to be the virtual network. Why? Because if it is physical server, we can attach the physical volume. Correct or not, sir? If it is virtual network, we need to attach the volume also virtually. Is the point number one clear? Like that. Next, network attached is slower than physically attached. Why? Because, sir, if we go to this one, like whatever the diagram I have shown you, for example, it is networkly attached. For example, this server is on one network, volume is also same network. These both are contacted via networks only. But, sir, if I take a physical server, for this physical server, volume need to be attached physically or not, sir? Whenever this server want to get the data from volume, it can get very speedily. Why? Because they both have contact there. Physically they are attached, correct or not? But here is our volume and server both physically attached or virtually attached. That means if you want to transfer the data, it is going to take some time. If the volume is attached physically, data is going to be transferred very speedily. But if the volume is attached networkly, data is going to transfer a bit slowly, not slowly, a bit slowly, like when compared to physical. So this is what you can call it as EBS. Again, EBS is persistence. What is the meaning of persistence? If you stop, if you reboot, data is not going to be erased. But if you terminate, data is going to be erased. And in the EBS volume, how we are going to attach the volume to server? Physically or network? Virtual network. Virtual network. And data is going to be transferred a bit slow. Why? Because those both are not physically contacted, right? That's it. Next here, the second type of volume is instant store backup EC2. What is the second one here? Instant stored backup EC2. The virtual hard drive on the host is allocated for the EC2 instance. It is limited to only some instance. For example, if you go here, in real time, there is something called as host machine. It's our host. Inside this host, you can create lot of servers. Inside this host, you can create lot of servers and you can get one EBS volume for it. For example, if this EBS volume is 100 GB, it can give 25 GB, 25 GB, 25 GB, 25 GB. But of course, we cannot give 25 GB. The maximum limit is only 10 GB. Is second type. In first EBS volume, we don't have any volume limitation, sir. But when you are using instant storage backup EC2, the limitation per each device is how much? 10 GB. That means each device will get maximum of only 10 GB of storage capacity. And it is non-persistence. Can only reboot. If you stop or if you terminate, data is going to be lost. Sir, then when you compared EBS with instant storage backup EC2, EBS, if we stop or reboot, data will not be gone. But in instant storage backup EC2, unfortunately, if your server got stopped, your data is also going to be deleted. And in EBS, we don't have limitations, sir. Maximum we can give up to. What is the maximum limitation of EBS volume in AWS? Maximum limits. It's almost all 16 terabytes. How much? 16 terabyte means very huge or not, sir? So that is the limitation for EBS volume, 16 terabytes. But in instance stored backed EC2, what is the maximum value here? 10 GB. When you compare EBS with instance stored backed EC2, what you got now? Which one is better? EBS only, right? So now we are going to speak about EBS. Till now I haven't started EBS. I just said how many type of volumes we have. Okay. And what is what only we just see now. But now here I'm going to tell you the concept of EBS. It's a raw unformatted external block storage that you can attach to EC2 instance. That means inside this block storage, you can store the raw data as well as you can store the unformatted data. For example, in our server, can we store our text files? Can we store our WAR files? Can we store CSV files? Of course, you can store images and videos as well. Correct or not? That's it. EBS volume attached. Yeah, we can store in images also. Elastic block storage. Okay. So EBS volume attached to EC2 through AWS network. Already we said, right? If I want to attach a volume to my server, there must be some virtual network. Without the network, we cannot able to attach our volume to the EC2 instance. Next, multiple EBS volume can be attached to single. Like in Docker also, multiple volumes can attach it to single container. Here also multiple volumes can attach to single server. But at a time, we can attach only one single volume, sir. At a time, we can attach only how many volumes? Single volume. EBS volumes and instance must be on same availability zone. So remember, for example, I have here my EBS volume. I have my EBS volume here. Like, let me delete this one. For example, it is my server. Okay, it is my server and it is the EBS volume. If I want to attach this EBS volume to my server, both must be on same availability zone. If server is on AP South 1A, okay, EBS volume also must be on. Server is on 1B. EBS volume also must be on 1B. So now next year, the data in EBS will be replicated to multiple copies in the same availability zone to prevent the data loss. Like basically we have a concept called snapshot. In the snapshot, you can get the exact meaning. Like what is the meaning of multiple copies of data? First of all, three things about EBS. EBS is a block storage which consists of data to store in server. We can attach multiple EBS volume to our server, but at a time we can attach only. Point number 3, server and EBS both are must be same availability zone. Are these 3 points clear first of all? Online, what about you? Are these 3 points clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in chat once? Why? Because from AWS point of view, what about remaining online? Is it not clear for you? Fine. So fine now, here coming to the types of volumes, sir. Basically, volume types are categorized into 2 types only. How many types? First one is SSD, second one is HDD. SSD means solid state drive. SSD means what? Second one, HDD means hard disk drive. Okay, fine now. Here, what exactly I'm going to do now is, tell me one thing. Currently, in the modern days, which one we are preferring? SSD or HDD? Why SSD? What is the reason for migrating from HDD to over SSD? Yeah, basically SSD is having the virtualization. And second thing is SSD can perform operations very speedily when you compare with HDD. So now in SSD, again your volumes are classified into two types. First one is general purpose. Which one? Second one is provisioned IOPS. Third one, throughput. Like throughput comes under HDD. So SSD is having two things. First of all, general purpose. Second one is provisioned IOPS. So in HDD again, throughput, cold, and magnetic. Sir, you can ask me when we are going to use HDD, when we are going to use SSD. So basically, this is the major confusion when we are selecting the type of EBS volume. So tell me one thing, when we are going to select SSD and when we are going to select HDD, like what is the parameters we need to consider while selecting the volume? I think AWS people need to tell this answer. Like what are the main parameters to select? No, not that one. No. What kind of parameter you want to select? Okay, fine. If you don't know, like I'll tell you. But sir, to explain the concept of EBS volume types, you need to have one thing on your brain. Have you ever went to functions, family functions? If you went to family functions, then EBS volumes are done. Trust me. If you went to your family function, your EBS volume is done. Let me tell you, sir, what is the relation between a family function and EBS volume means? I'll tell a few things about this one. Try to remember. Forgot about the technical. First of all, I explained about the general concept. Then we can convert into technical aspect. Sir, for example, you went for a family function, sir. In family function, like whenever you went, your parents ask you to take photos with different angles. He is your mama, yeah. Take photo with him. He is your babai. Like this, some things are going to happen, right? So whenever you click a photo with your uncle, okay. For example, let's take this is our uncle. Whenever you click a photo with your uncle, sir, are you going to see it daily, or like are you going to store it separately, or just you are going to store some junk here? Only in gallery you will save, but there is no any specific requirement, right? When you want to store some data which you don't have any specific requirement, then you can use general purpose. What we can use? General purpose. Something like someone said there, what it is? Huh? Okay. So fine. So when you click the picture with uncle, so you don't have any requirement. You just want to save it. Whenever you want to save the content without any specific requirement, then you can use what? Point number one clear. Second point is, sir, in the same function. Yeah. Why you're laughing? So in the same function, unfortunately, your crush came, sir. Really, like in family functions, like it's common, right? For example, let's take your marbles and bows, like we have like that kind of things. So whenever your crush comes into the function, what you are going to do, you are trying to click picture with her, correct or not, sir? Now tell me, this time you want to store the picture with some specific requirement. Whenever you store the picture, you want to open it immediately. That means data you want to get very speedily or not, sir? If you open the uncle picture, no need to get it very speedily. Aramse, we will get it later. But whenever you open your clutch picture, you need to get it very speedily, correct or not, sir? For these kind of requirements, we can use IOPS. What we can use? Of course, like we don't have hidden files, right? All of you, if you have logs, then the point is correct. Fine. So here, if you see general purpose for general usage without any specific requirement. Sir, uncle photo you are going to save, sir. We don't have any specific requirement, right? Just want to save it. Second one is crush picture. Whose pic it is? When you require really fast input and The moment if you click on gallery, it need to be appear in the very speed, like rocket speed. The requirement or not? Kiran is laughing, huh? Shying Kiran. Kiran upset, why? No crush. Oh. If there is no volume, Kiran, I can help you, Kiran. But if there is no crush, I can't help you. Sorry. Fine. So is the first two things clear, sir? General purpose to store the data without any specific requirement. So IOPS means if you want to really have the speed input and output operations, you are going to use IOPS. So now coming to the HDD again, here you are going to have something called as throughput optimizer. What we are going to have? Sir, throughput optimization means here, like I'll tell you. For example, unfortunately, at the end of the day, your crush pinged you on WhatsApp. He's telling that, Kiran, we took a picture together, na? Please send it to me. Like crush is asking to Kiran. What she is asking? Kiran, we take a picture, na? Please send it. What he is going to do within immediately fraction of seconds, he is going to send the picture. Like whenever you want to transfer the data very speedily, then you are going to use throughput. What you are going to use, sir? Throughput is going to send the data very speedily, sir. Like whenever your crush asks the picture, you are going to send it very speedily, right? Like that, throughput is going to send the data very shy mode activated. Fine. So next again, sir, at the same moment, again your uncle pinged you, sir. He is telling that, Babu Kiran, we take a picture, na Kiran, please send it to me. What you are going to do, you are going to send after 1 hour. You want to send it, but there is no any urgency. You can send it later. You can send it slowly. For these kind of requirements, what we can use means, we can use cold HDD. What we can use, sir? So now see it. So throughput means magnetic driver optimized for quick throughput. Throughput means how speed the data can be transferred, sir. What is the meaning of throughput? How speed the data is going to be transferred. And next, cold HDD means lowest cost for HDD volume and infrequent access. You don't want to access. Okay, you just want to store. You are going to access it infrequently. Like whenever your uncle pinged you, you are going to ping him frequently or infrequently. For that kind of things, we are going to use cold HDD. And finally, EBS magnetic is there, which is going to be the last version and which you are never going to use on real time. Clear now? So these are the 4 parameters. First one is here. First one is what? General purpose. General purpose means you want to store the data, but you don't have any specific requirements, sir. Example is taking a picture with uncle. Next, IOPS means you want to get the data very speedily. So example is taking a picture with the Next, again, sir, if you want to transfer data very speedily, what kind of volume you are going to select? Example is sending the image to our crush. And cold HDD, infrequent access. You want to store the data, but you will never access. Like that, we will click picture with uncle, but are we going to access that picture? Even if you want me to send us, like we never send to him, right? This is based upon this parameter. What is your requirement? You want to select the volume type, sir. Clear now? So generally, when we are discussing about volumes, like majority of the cases in real time, we use IOPS, but nobody knows why we are using IOPS and nobody knows why we are using general purpose. For example, if you ask me in real time, completely we are going to use IOPS. For database, IOPS need to be taken. But for web server, general purpose is enough. Why? Because in web server, we don't have any content, right? In app server, in database server, we are going to have the content. So for kind of things like web server, general purpose is enough. Application server depends. If you want general purpose, take general purpose. If you want IOPS, you can take IOPS. But for database, definitely we are going to select only IOPS. So this is the way how we are going to select the type of EBS volume. Is the concept of EBS volume clear for all of you know? What is EBS volume, how many types, and how to select the type of EBS volume? Clear now? That's it. Okay, sir, fine here. When coming to the volume size here, the minimum volume capacity for SSD is 1 GB and maximum is 16 terabytes for general purpose. But for provision, what is the minimum capacity? What is the maximum? For a hard disk, minimum is 500, maximum is 15 terabytes for all of them. If you see, 500 is the minimum for all of them. And what is the maximum here? 10 TB. Okay, but recent days, we are not going to use like HDD. All of the real-time things are going to migrate for SSD only, majority of the cases. So here throughput means how speed the data can be transferred in the form of MB per second, and IOPS means how speed you can read and write the data. Is the concept clear now? That's it. So the next point you need to know is what is the meaning of snapshot? What is the meaning of? To understand this concept, no need to have technical example. Do you know screenshot? What is the screenshot? Blackmailing tool. Someone said blackmailing from there, right? Okay, fine. Is it true? No, I don't know. I'm just asking for confirmation. He said that is a blackmailing tool, no? Yes or no? అరే ఏదో ఒకటి చెప్పండి ఎస్ సార్ నో నో షూర్ fine. Okay, sir, like here we are going to discuss about snapshot. What is the exact meaning of snapshot? Means if you know about screenshot, snapshot is very easy. For example, what is the meaning of screenshot here? Whenever you have some frame, inside the frame you are having some data, correct or not? When you want to take the backup of this data, if I take a screenshot, do you have the backup of data or not, sir? Eventually, if I delete all of the data, still I have the backup or not, sir? This is what screenshot and snapshot meant for. Screenshot is used to take the backup of data. Unfortunately, if someone deleted the messages which they send, you have the screenshot or not, sir? Same like in real time also, whenever we lost the data, eventually we can get it from the snapshot itself. Where we can get it from? In doubts any? Fine. So here EBS snapshots are point in time of images or copy of EBS volume. That means any data, for example, like I'll tell it practically why, because theory is going to be very boring here. So let's set this into general purpose. Have you ever heard about server migration? No, right? In real time, sometimes we do the server migration. Like if you want to confirm, you can ask your real-time employees and friends, they will tell you. Server migration means, for example, let's consider my server is on Mumbai region. Which region? I want to migrate my server from Mumbai region to Northern Virginia. In general, like if you don't have technical knowledge, what will you do? Server migration means my server is on Mumbai. I need to take that server and I need to ship it to Northern Virginia. Generally, if you don't have technical knowledge, you will feel like this, right? Server migration is not like that. Whatever the server you created in the region called Mumbai region, you can copy the same server to Northern Virginia. How you are going to do means with the help of snapshots concept. Which concept it is? So the concept what I'm going to teach you is definitely a real-time activity and real-time concept. So please pay some attention while I'm explaining this one. Okay. Why? Because guys, these are the activities you are going to do when you get some experience. Definitely these things you need to do. So the things which we have done for our organization, I am telling the same things for you. So please pay attention here. Initially, I create my server. For example, let's consider it is my server, sir. Currently, our server is on which region? My server is on Mumbai. So here I am planning to migrate my server from Mumbai region to Northern Virginia. In Mumbai, my server is like on which region means here 1B. Which region it is? So my server is on Mumbai. I can take it as AP South 1B. Okay. So whenever you create the server, inside the server, you have the volume or not, sir? This is our volume. Let's consider it is our volume. Inside this volume, what we are going to have again? Inside this volume, we have our entire thing. So you have your operating system here. You have some packages. You have even some files as well. All of this thing, everything what you are creating on your server is going to store on here volume only. Currently, do you have server, sir? In which region? Inside my server, do I have volume now? Inside the volume only, I have my operating system. If you want me to show, let me connect to my server. Of course, directly we can connect from browser today. Like I'll tell you like where inside our server, our operating system is resided. What is the command to go to root path, sir? No. I'm asking basically like currently we're on root folder, but directly want to go to the parenting path of your Linux operating system. CD, we can tell it as slash, correct or not? If you go and give LL, all of your OS files you are seeing or not, sir? And how to calculate the size of our operating system? Already I said. Huh? No. Du hyphen sh is the command. Already we said this on your Docker classes, right? What is size of your OS, sir, here? 1.9 GB. If you open the command, there is a command called df command. df hyphen h. Sir, it is your volume. In this volume, totally how much of volume we created? How much of volume we created? Are you able to see the screen first of all? Not visible, huh? Fine. Let me connect to mobile system then. Mobile system. Sudo hyphen I. So what you can give is just give cd slash. And if you give du hyphen sh, what is the size here for our operating system? There is a command called df hyphen h. If you give this one, you are going to get the complete information of your mount points. It is my volume, sir. Total how much of volume I created by default? But here already 1.9 GB is used. Why it is used means this 1.9 GB is currently the size of my operating system. We see already it is 1.9 GB consumed. To where it is consumed for my OS only. What is my OS size here? That means currently your operating system is storing inside the volume or not, sir? Correct or not? If I install packages also going to store on volume only. If I create some files are also going to store on. Let's do this. Let me install few packages. Yum install git java openjdk. Sorry, java hyphen 1. OpenJDK, Maven I am installing, Docker I am installing, Tree also I am installing. I am installing few packages here actually. All of these packages and configuration of packages also going to store on volume. So next, here I'm installing few packages as well as I'm gonna create some files as well. Let's create some files. Again, these files also going to store on volume. So give touch file 1.10. In file 1, I am writing like this. This is my file 1 from container 1. Sorry, container server, right? It is. File 1 for my server, server. Done, sir, no? Now, if you see here, first of all, we created server. Inside this server, what we have? Inside this volume, we have OS packages file. Everything will be on volume, right? What I'm gonna do is, I am gonna create one more server in AP South 1A. Of course, it is on 1B, right? I'm gonna create server on AP South 1A. So here I am writing this server is on AP South 1A. Sir, now I want to migrate all of the data from AP South 1B to AP South. So now how the process is going to be, first of all, from this volume, you are going to create a snapshot. What we are going to create? What is the meaning of snapshot? It is the backup of your volume. That means whatever the content inside the volume you are having, same content is going to take the backup. It is what, sir, my snapshot. Whenever I create snapshot, whatever the data inside the volume is completely going to get as a backup. Then how to do it means process is going to be very, very easy. Go here. It is your server number 1. Correct or not, sir? So when you click on this, are you seeing here storage? It is my volume. So this volume I want to convert into snapshot. Click on that volume. You can see something called as action. Select this one and click on. Are you seeing create snapshot? Click on this one. Snapshot description is optional. I am creating, or this snap is from server 1. It is optional, guys, description. Now create a snapshot. Now what is going to happen, whatever the data inside the volume is going to transfer into, that is what you can call as data in transit. Data in transit means transferring the data from volume to snapshot. Now it will take few minutes. If you go and see now. So currently if you click on this one, are you seeing snap here? Click on this snap ID. Currently it is pending status. That means data is transferring. And one more thing. While transferring the data, eventually if I go to server number 1, okay, eventually if I go to server number 1, if I create new files won't come, sir. If you begin the process of creating the snapshot, whatever the new files and new packages you are adding, these are not going to be added in the currently running snapshot. This point I clearly wrote here. Any data retained the volume after snapshot is initiated will not be included in the snapshot. That means it is creating now. I can't create new files. If I create, the files are not going to be replicated. And how many volumes you can create? Per single volume, like per single account. And how many snapshots? Sir, you are creating snapshots now. These snapshots are going to store on S3 bucket, but not on our S3. AWS will have some S3 buckets separately. Whatever the snapshots we are creating, every snapshot is going to be stored on AWS buckets, not our bucket. AWS people will maintain some separate buckets for each and every user. Whatever the snapshots you are creating, everything is going to store on the AWS buckets. And snapshots are region specific. That means if you create a snapshot from volume, that snapshot you can use for any availability zone. Currently, I am creating snapshot from the volume, which is from AP South 1A. Once I create the snapshot, right? From the snapshot, again, I can create volume that wherever I want, I can use it. Then again, integrate one more snapshot. If you add some new files, if you want to get that new files, create one more snapshot. You can come to know it. Sir, currently is your snapshot available, sir? That means inside this snapshot, everything OS, packages, files you have. This is the backup of your volume. What is the snapshot? Sir, in snapshot, we have the backup of data. Can we attach snapshot to our server? Yes or not? You can't. Why? Because snapshots cannot able to attach to the server, sir. Snapshot is to maintain the backup only. If you go and see here, go for the action. In the action, what you are seeing? Are you seeing any attach option here? This is the basic point. And what you are going to do mistake on interviews. They are going to ask like this. When you create the backup of your volume, can you attach this volume to the server? Means no, you can't. Why? Because the meaning of backup means here snapshot is going to be there. Snapshots is to maintain the backup only. But snapshots we can attach for the server directly. For that purpose, again from the snapshot, we need to create the volume. Again from the snapshot, what we are going to create here? Sir, if I create the volume from snapshot, what is going to happen, Like, let me tell you. If I go and see, if I create the volume from the snapshot, whatever the data I have inside the snapshot, everything is going to comes to the volume. Everything is going to come under the volume. Why? Because snapshot we can't attach. That means we need to create the volume from the snapshot. Then we can attach for our server. Then how to do it? Directly go to here, create a volume from the, sir, by defaultly your old EBS volume is 8 GB. Whenever you are creating a volume from snapshot, for example, see, this is 10 GB. For example, let's take it is 100 GB. From the 100 GB EBS volume, you create the snapshot. Whenever you are creating the volume from snapshot again, this must be at least 100 GB or greater than 100 GB. If you give below 100 GB, it is not going to accept. Point clear? My previous volume is, for example, 100 GB. From volume, what I created? From snapshot, what I'm creating now? That means this volume must be equal to my previous volume or greater than my previous volume, but it cannot be less than my previous volume. So of course, like here, for my clarity, here I'm going to give it as 10 GB. How much, sir? And if you want to change the volume type, directly you can change it here. It's possible here. Next, sir, my server is on which region now? AP South? That means my volume must be also on AP South. For example, if I create volume on 1B, I cannot attach this volume to my 1A server. Is the volume creating now? So if you go to this one, click on volume. Is your volume currently ready status now? Sir, then how to attach this volume for my new server? Means first of all, to attach this volume, we need to create new server or not, sir? I'll take the duplicate tab. Why? Because this I'll keep like this one for your clarity. Go to duplicate tab, go for instances, create a new instance, launch new instance. It is server number Amazon Linux 2, like instance type okay, keeper is also okay. Sir, but here network settings, go and click on edit. I want to create this on 1A. If you don't select this one, it is going to get the by default subnet. Here I want AP South 1A only. So I click on edit and I select the AP South. And security groups, select the existing security group, all traffic. Click on launch instance. Is it launching the new server or not, sir? Now wait for a few minutes. So till here, have you got the clarity? Up to now? Sure, eh? Fine. So currently server number 2 is on. Sir, there is a note point. Whenever you want to attach a volume to the server, that is root volume. Currently, I am attaching root volume only. So whenever you want to attach the root volume for your server, first of all, your server must be in stopout state. In real time also, whenever we are attaching the snapshot, like that means volume we are attaching to the server. First of all, we are going to stop the server. Click on stop the instance. Instance stopped now. Once you stop the instance, currently the server number 2 is having the default EBS volume, correct or not, sir? Remove that EBS volume and attach our created EBS volume. Why? Because whenever you create the server without EBS volume, we can't create. So the server number 2 is always having by default EC2 instance. Sorry, like EBS volume. Are you having this or not, sir? First of all, we need to remove this volume and we need to attach our old volume. So how to do it means, if it is stopped now, click on this server, go to storage and click on the volume again. Select this volume. Are you seeing detached volume, sir? Detached volume means that volume is going to detach from the current source. Detaching means like removing actually. Successfully detached the volume. Now what I'm going to do is I have my old volume or not, sir. What is the size here? Click on actions, attach volume. So this volume I am attaching for which server now? Server number 2. Guys, remember default name for root volume is /dev/xvda. Write this point. Why? Because in practice, everything you are going to do is perfectly all right. But here you are going to do the mistake. So whenever you are attaching, you need to give the name as xvda /dev/xvda. What is the default name for root EBS volume, sir? /dev. If it is non-root volume, you can give any name as per your requirement. Click on attach. Sir, now is the volume attached for my server number 2 or not, sir? If you go and see now, whatever the volume I created, this volume attached for my server number 2. My server number 2 is on which region now? AP South. That means whatever the data I have on server number 1B, have I migrated to server number 1A or not, sir? You can get the same volume. So now, see the process. First of all, where I created the server here? South 1B. I have the volume. Inside the volume, I have OS packages. From the server, what I have created? What is the meaning of snapshot? Taking the backup of EBS volume. Again, same thing. Whatever you have on volumes came to snapshot or not, sir? From snapshot, we created volume. Why we create volume? To attach to server. Snapshots we can't attach. Snapshot is meant to maintain the backup of data only. So I create the volume from the snapshot. Again, same data, whatever in the snapshot came to the, this volume I attach it for my new server. How to attach means, first of all, we need to stop the server and we need to remove the existing volume. Then we need to add the volume which is created from snapshot. Now, if we go and see your server number 2, whatever the files, whatever the data and whatever the packages you are having on server number 1, same things you are going to see on server number 2 also. Let me start this one. Sir, in server number 1, we created file 1 to file 10, correct or not, sir? As well as we install the packages of Git, Java, Maven, Tree and Docker packages. So click on connect and try to check whether you are having the same things or not. So just to go to cd desktop / keypad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute every command on multi-execution mode. Why? Because to show you the clarity here. So let me go to multi-execution mode. Go for multi-exec. So here, first of all, check the command of git version, git -- version. Are you getting git version, sir? Next, check the Maven. Are you getting Maven version? Both are having Maven and Java same versions. Third thing, here I'm going to check the Docker. Are you getting the Docker or not, sir? And eventually you are getting the tree. That means both servers are having same packages. And if you go to cd / give the command du-sh. And both servers are having the data of 2.4 GB. And here eventually these both servers are also having the 10 files. Oh, sorry. Just go to root. Are you seeing 10 files here? Where are these 10 files here? cd / sir, we created files on the home path. Basically, it is what you can call as the main directory for your Linux. Here, if you can see all of the files you are seeing or not, sir. Check the content of file 1. You can get the same content. Cat file 1. Same thing or not? This is how to migrate the data from one availability zone to. Sir, why we need to migrate means sometimes there might be some requirements from client. I don't want to get the server access here. I want to get the access from my nearest availability zone. In that case, we do these kind of activities. In general, you don't do this as a regular activity, but on some rare occasions, we are going to migrate. Okay, sir, fine. You said about the migration of availability zone to availability zone. From US East to, AP Southeast 1 to Southeast, AP South. AP South 1B to AP South 1A you migrated. But I want to migrate from AP South 1A to US East 1A. That means from Mumbai to Northern Virginia. I haven't said that one, right? So how to do it means it is very easy again. See the architecture. In the architecture, your data is taken back up on where? On your, sir, this snapshot, you want to copy it to US East, sir. The snapshot I'm going to copy it as. How to copy the snapshot to US East 1 means go to the snapshot. Instances, click on the, is a snapshot or not, sir? This snapshot is created from server number. If you go for actions, are you seeing copy snapshot? Where I want to copy? US East 1. So check for US East 1. Directly the snapshot is migrated to now US East 1. If you want me to show, I'll change from Mumbai location to US East 1. Sir, currently your snapshot is also migrated from Mumbai to US East or not, sir? So now here, whatever the thing I have, snapshot. So this snapshot, I'm going to take it as volume again. Sir, currently you copied the snapshot to where? So I'm writing copy it to US East 1. Whenever I copy the snapshot to US East 1, that means from this snapshot, I can create volume or not, sir? So I'm writing this process. Whenever I copy the snapshot, from this snapshot, whatever I'm going to do is, I'm going to create the volume again. Are you seeing the snapshot here? Let me increase if size a bit. Sir, from this snapshot, can I create the volume one more time? And this from the volume, can I attach the volume to server one more time or not, sir? Already know the process, right? Same process, nothing is going to new here. From the snapshot, whatever you created, you are going to create the volume from the snapshot. What you are going to do? From the snapshot, you are going to create the, and this volume, again you are going to attach for the server. Server of where? This one again I'm going to attach for my US East 1. Delete this one and going to attach for US East 1. So this is the concept of EBS volume and the concept of server migration. Clear now, sir? This is. So this is the whole process, what you want to follow. In real time also, whatever the process I said for you, even we do the same kind of activities without any difference. Whatever I shown you, same thing you are going to do on real time. Let me finish this cap. One second. Instead of writing the notes, what you are going to do is take the picture of this one. Take the picture of it. Why? Because no need to write the notes. Directly, if you understand that picture, everything is in the single frame. Is it clear, sir, for all of you now? What about you online? Is the concept clear? How we have migrated the data from one availability zone to one availability zone and one region to one region? Is it clear for all of you online? Fine. So now here, the thing is, whenever you are maintaining the snapshot, right? For snapshots, we need to pay the bill. So after your practice, what I'm gonna do is remove the snapshots. Go to action, click on snapshot. In Northern Virginia, I removed, as well as in Mumbai also I need to remove the snapshot. Definitely we create on regular basis. We'll create. For example, we can schedule the snapshot creation as well. But it depends upon the type of the application. If you ask me, we create snapshot for every new deployment. Basically, like daily we not to create. If there is some new release, we will create the snapshots. Or of course, whenever you want to schedule, you can schedule the snapshot creation as well. So here delete the snapshot. Why? Because guys, here it is not going to free for you. So after your practice, you need to delete the snapshots. Second thing is in volume. Sir, for example, whenever I am having this server, in this server, I want to increase the capacity of my volume. For example, for server number 2, I want to increase the capacity, sir. What you can go? Go for storage. Currently, what is the volume here? For my server number 2, click on the volume. Add volume node. Go for modify. Seeing modify volume here. So here you can give it as 100 GB. But of course, 100 GB is not free. Let's take 30 GB. So remember, whenever you are modifying the volume, so remember, you can increase the volume capacity, but you cannot decrease it. For example, for 10 to 30, have it created or not, sir? Again, from 30 to 10, I cannot bring back. Only increasing, no decreasing. Now, if you go and see now, for your instance type, for your server number 2, it will take some time to replicate. Go to 2, click on storage. Still, how much you are seeing now? Just now it is changed. Correct or not, sir? Sir, again, if I try to modify it, this time I'm trying to decrease this one. Modify volume. Okay, currently it is on still pending status. If you go and see, optimizing or not, sir? We need to make it as in use. Once it is in use, you can check whether you are able to modify or not. Sir, for example, like if I want to add one more volume for my server, how to add means it is very easy. Click on create volume. The volume I want to add is 25 GB. How much? My server is on episode 1A only. Click on create volume. So this volume I want to attach for my server number 2. Go for actions. Click on attach. Currently it is disabled. Why? Because you need to get it as ready. Still it is on which mode? Once it is available, we can attach, sir. Is it available now? Select this one. Actions. Attach volume for server number 2. So now name can be anything. If it is root volume, XVDA. If it is non-root volume, by default you can go. Now if you go for your servers, for instance number 2, click on refresh. Initially you have how many volumes? 1 volume. But how many you are seeing? Sir, in this, which one is root volume, which one is not? That is root volume. How can you say? And second one is non-root volume. So this clarity you need to maintain when it comes to the topic of EBS volumes. The concept clear, sir? No? So this is the concept of EBS volume, and of course, like one more topic is there. I'll explain this topic. That is what we call as incremental volume. What we can call it as incremental volume means, sir, currently volume is used to store the data, but how it is going to store the data means in the form of blocks. How it is going to store? Sir, I create the volume. This volume is having 3 blocks: block A, block B, and block C. If I create snapshot from the EBS volume, all the blocks are going to come to the single snapshot. Sir, after few days, I created a file. Now this file is going to store on block number C only. In which block it is stored? Already in snapshot 1, you have block A, block B, block C backup. But what is the new block changed here? Now, if we want to take the backup is going to take for only block number C. Why? Because block number A, block number B already you have backup, right? Which block is changed now? Now, if you create a backup, it is going to come under the C block only. That is what you can call as incremental volume. What we can call it as. And eventually, for example, if your EBS volume is having 8 blocks, how many blocks we are having? If your data is stored on block number 1, 2, 3, 4, you are having data. In block number 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, you don't have the data. Now, if you create backup now, in that backup, block number 1 to 4 is going to come. Why? Because in block number 5 to 8, are you having the backup, sir? Are you having the data? It is not going to come there. Okay. So in EBS volume, data is going to store on blocked format. We want to create the backup. How many blocks you are having the data? That many blocks are going to come into the snapshot. Remaining blocks, if they don't have data, we are not going to consider that one. Clear now? That's it. So now coming to the EBS encryption, of course, like if you want to encrypt the volume, you can encrypt. For example, for encryption, we can use KMS. In AWS, you have KMS, right? Key management. System or service? Sure. Huh? So by the help of KMS, you can do the encryption, sir. As well as, Ansible, right? With the help of Ansible, we can encrypt entire operating system, correct or not? So like this, if you create the volume encryption way, snapshot is also going to be encrypted. If snapshot is encrypted, again the volume is also going to be. If the volume is encrypted, again the volume which you are attaching for server is also going to be. So encryption, you can use lot of tools, like you can use Ansible for encryption. You can use AWS KMS service and other third-party tools also we have, sir, for encryption. But it is not required to encrypt all the time. If you want, you can do it, or otherwise it is not necessary. So this is what you can call as encryption. Here, step-by-step point I have given. Don't worry about the running notes. Here I have given. And from AWS point of view, don't expect running notes, sir. Why? Because everything we are performing from CLI or GUI. In GUI, how can we write the live notes, sir? But even though I wrote the live notes for your elastic load balancer and for this one as well. Step by step I have given. Okay. So this is the concept of EBS volume. So before going for doubts and queries, have we got the clarity of EBS volume now? And have you got the clarity of server migration? Fine. So now if you are having any doubts or any queries regarding the topic, you can ask me now. Online you too. If you are having any doubts or queries, you can ask me. Still have some time. What about your offline? You don't have any doubts, huh? Sure. Anta clear, huh? In after lab you will get a fine, valid. Online, what about you? Sir, in real time, when we do work on EBS snapshot when you want to create the backups, Bashir. Basically, once you create a server, right, volumes you are never going to change. Why? Because while creating the server only, we need to fix for certain volume. Basically, we need to get at least 100 GB. If it is exceeding, what you can do is you can remove the existing files or you can increase the volume capacity. That's it. And snapshot, we are going to create daily, sir. Why? Because we don't know what can happen. So we are going to create snapshot daily. Old snapshots are going to be deleted. New shots are going to be cleared. Like that. And one more thing, snapshot is not going to be free. It is going to be cost. So now types of EBS volume. Let's discuss one more time. How many types of EBS volume we have? Two types. Only two types. First one is SSD. Second one, again in SSD, how many types we have, sir? What are those? General purpose, IOPS. Like in general purpose, when we are going to use general purpose, uncle, like explain in term of technical. Of course, uncle. So when you want to store the data without any specific requirement. So next IOPS, when you are going to store immediate actions, read and write. Next, like again in HDD, throughput, when you are going to store. When you want to transfer the data with high speed. Next, cold HDD, infrequent access, and magnetic we will never use. Okay. Like the best example for magnetic is your Aadhaar card picture. Are you going to access it? No, like that. Snap host, snapshot. So then still any doubts or any queries? And one more thing, have I given resumes for you on your Google Classroom? All of you created? How many of you created? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, fine. Okay, Priyanka, Shavan, and whoever. Shivam. Okay, fine. Fine, guys. Okay, fine, online. Thanks for joining today's session. As of now, we don't have any doubts or queries, right? So I'm wrapping the session here. So let's meet on tomorrow's session with some new topics. Sir, I missed on yesterday's class. Can you give backup notes or something? Already your notes is on Google Classroom, Devishri. You can take it from there.